Hey, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. So, hey, today I got a really special guest I'm really excited to introduce to you, and that's John Sonmez here from Bulldog Mindset. Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Tom.
I got John on here. We met several years back on YouTube. John was interviewed on real estate. And so I thought, oh, this guy's into real estate. This is good. I liked what I sound genuine. There's so much that isn't out there. And so I reached out to him and he's generous enough. He had me on his show. And then since then we've become friends. I had him come back here today because he really has an awesome channel. And John, tell me real quick, and then we're going to circle back to this, but tell me about your channel. What are you doing right now? What is Bulldog Mindset?
Yeah. So Bulldog mindset, I mean, the easiest way to describe it is the opposite of the victim mindset, right? So many people today have this victim mindset where they believe that life is unfair, that things happen to them, that it's because of whatever it is, whatever excuse. It's because they grew up in this area, they're poor, they're whatever, this race or whatever they use as an excuse to have the victim mindset. So Bulldog mindset is really about taking full responsibility for your life and saying, it doesn't matter if life's fair. What can I do in order to improve myself? And so it's really targeted towards men. And I'm teaching men, first of all, how to have the mindset to get rid of the victim mindset, but then how to be successful in life, right? Everything from, getting your finances straight, from building a business, investing in real estate, that core, to the fitness side, how to get in shape, get the physique you want, lose weight if you're trying to do that. And then the relationship side, right? How to date, if depending on what guys, if they want to learn how to talk to women, pick up women, how to do that, or how to have success in the long-term relationship. So kind of really trying to put it all into one place to create what I think is, what masculinity should be today. So that's really the focus of the channel.
I gather already from your channel, and it's interesting because this is kind of the parallels that put people and make them successful at what they do. And John's become kind of a Renaissance man, right? Wouldn't most people agree? And because when I started out, poor, trailer park, free lunches at school, I didn't want to be poor. The analogy I make from that is John, from what I've seen in the beginning, he was not a super fit, super confident, super fit. So in other words, everything he aspired to be, and tell me if I'm wrong, from when you were younger, you
Right.
figured it out, and now you're sharing it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's exactly right. And hardly anyone starts out. I mean, it's like, I think sometimes guys look at people who are successful and they think that they just were born with it, and it's not. And most of the time, there's some work that's been done there that you don't see.
So John now is teaching that because he's a role model in that respect, and I've met him firsthand. I know him. The guy's, I mean, he you can't tell, but he's 6'2", 6'3", super lean. And I mean, he's a beast. He really is a beast. He really is. It's surprising. I said, geez, you don't look that big on camera. But this is really interesting to me because I'm somebody that started out also no confidence. I mean, I had secondhand clothes. I remember being in school and, some kid had flood pants, meaning your ankles were exposed, and my mom threw all the laundry in one basket, so I had yellow socks with white socks and whatever got washed with. So it didn't build any confidence for me. But let's go back now before the confident John and Bulldog. Tell me just about your, say, high school, elementary school. How'd that start out?
Yeah. I was really shy. I remember as a kid, I was afraid to get on the phone to make a doctor's appointment, right? My parents had to do that for me. I just didn't, I was just super shy. I was lazy. I got really bad grades initially in school. I just didn't want to do work. I just wanted to play video games and not, and I was out of shape. I was, kind of the chubbier kid most of the time growing up. I was picked on. I just didn't have any kind of ambition. And I always thought in my head, even growing up, especially when I started getting to high school, it's like, okay, well, it's other people who play sports, who are athletic. It's other people who are cool, who are popular. It's not me. Because I had that identity, I had that fixed mindset instead of a growth mindset.
So you're a big guy, but you were out of shape. Fair to say?
Yeah.
obviously you got some confidence in your skills at being a programmer, and I'm leading up to why I'm getting into that is I assume that you took an interest and you found yourself gifted at this software stuff.
Yeah. So that was the thing, that I knew I could do. I learned, I sort of self-taught myself to become a programmer. I was really good with computers, and that was, something that I didn't have to do socially, that I could just, do myself. And so that sort of boosted my confidence in one area. But it's interesting because I work with a lot of software developers, and my other company, I train software developers. And one thing I find in them, in which I had, it wasn't true confidence, it was arrogance. And the way I define arrogance is that arrogance is telling people what you don't believe about yourself, and confidence is actually believing something about yourself. And so I was arrogant, and I had to always prove myself. I'm so smart, look at me, I know how to solve this problem. Whereas when you're trying to prove that, you don't really truly have confidence, because you need other people to say, yeah, oh yeah, you're so smart, so that you can feel good about yourself. And that's kind of the fuel that you need in order to, so it's not true confidence. True confidence comes from inside. It's like, I know who I am. I don't need anyone to tell me.
Yeah. So the arrogance, and I can relate a little bit. Basically, it sounds like you're taking the fact that you were good at this, you could kind of look down on people and make yourself feel better, like I'm smarter than you. Fair to say.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that made you boost your confidence to a degree to help you offset maybe the depression and things that you're feeling about being fat, or or not being shy or overly introverted, it sounds like.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't have picked that right up for you. Say the arrogance. I mean, I understand it totally, but it's not a bunch of nerdy programmers that are just afraid and they talk to each other. but,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's more of an engineer. Some engineers like that too. But anyways, so, okay. So you did that, and somewhere along the line, you said, hey, I can write a book, and you wrote a book. And then, so tell me how you got to writing a book real quick. And then we're going to get back to what you're doing right now, but I just want to briefly give some history. Tell me about, so you wrote the book and you created the channel. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, so the quick version of the story is, after high school, I went to college. I dropped out after a year in computer science program because it was boring and it just made me not like programming anymore. But I was self-taught. So I got a job at HP, and I got these really good jobs as a software. I was like 19 years old at the time. I got a job paying $75 an hour at the time, which was 2000, and it was mostly luck, to be honest with you, but I capitalized on that opportunity. I saved that money. And actually what happened there was I moved to Santa Monica, California at $19.75 an hour with a per diem of like $22.50 an hour or something. So I was basically making like $170,000 a year. Wow. And I was like, okay, I'm rich. Right. And I thought, okay, how long before I'm a millionaire? And so I started doing the math, and I was like, well, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. I was like, I'm going to save every penny. And I realized it would take me more than 10 years of saving. I'd have to keep this job. I'd have to live, like a pauper. And then I didn't account for inflation. So I was like, okay, with inflation, $1 million won't even be, so it needs to be like 13 years. I was like, how the heck does anyone get rich? This is like, I'm making ridiculous amount of money. Who makes more money than this? Yeah. Right. And so that's what actually got me into real estate is when I did the research, I was like, okay, the wealthy people, like 90% of wealthy people in the country, they built their wealth through real estate. Absolutely. So that started to get me down that path. And then, for the next few years or so, I was a software developer, and I was just basically saving my money and investing in real estate. But my career was going good. But, again, you have a glass ceiling there. And so at one point, I was fine as a software developer. I had this 30-year plan to become retired at some point, but I started writing this blog, and that's where everything shifted. Because once I started writing that blog, people started reading it. And then all of a sudden I got invited to speak on a podcast on software development. I started to kind of get my name out there. I was speaking at some conferences, and I got some opportunities that came from that, some job opportunities, but then an opportunity to write courses for this company, Pluralsight, which I did. And then to make some apps, which I did. And then and then what ended up happening was, after getting all those opportunities, I got a book offer. A publisher said, hey, we want you to write a book. You can write on whatever topic, because we know you have an audience, it will sell. And that's when I really started to become entrepreneurial at that point. I took Simple Programmer. I wrote my first book, The Complete Software Developer, or actually that one was Soft Skills, Software Developer's Life Manual. And it's published through my publisher, and that book ended up becoming a bestseller. And so that was kind of the path that took me down that entrepreneurial journey. And then, I started doing YouTube videos, podcasts, and then started making my own courses and selling them kind of from that point.
So where are you at age-wise at this point? You got the book done. Now you've got a YouTube following. And I assume that during this YouTube following, you're starting to realize, hey, you're recognizing other needs or like that you could relate to, the confidence,
Yeah. So, I officially, I think I started the blog when I was around 29 or so, 30. And then I remember I officially retired, at 33. That's when I quit my day job because I had enough income coming in, and was running Simple Programmer, and I had, royalty checks and rental real estate. I remember, hitting that passive income point when I had $5,000 a month of passive income coming from real estate. I was like, okay, I'm set for life. I can live off of this if I need to. And so that's when I quit the job and everything and just focused on that. But as I was doing this and creating content for software developers, a lot of the big questions I was getting, because it's mostly male audience, were things around dating and women and masculinity, how to be a man today. And so I started to really see the need for that. And I had gone through, this was 33 when I had retired, but then I still hadn't figured out a lot of the personal development stuff. I had figured out some of the business stuff, the real estate stuff, but I still wasn't really where I needed to be as a man. And in the next maybe 3 or 4 years, I really started to dive into that and developing my skills in that area. So once I had realized that I can make that transformation myself, that complete transformation at that point, that's when I realized that I needed to start something for guys like this, because there was a big crisis of masculinity.
Hi, I'm Tom McKay. I've been investing in real estate, commercial properties, industrial properties, houses, apartments, offices, subdivisions. I also have a mentorship course to help people create their own fortunes the same way. My first class, I had immediate results. Ron made over $200,000 and has purchased 22 properties. Eric has purchased a trailer park and 34 acres of land. Liam has already flipped a few properties and made over $100,000 on his first deal.